Welcome to Daily Iowan Football Forum. I'm Rob Miller alongside Tom Rogers, John Linder, and Brendan Stiles. We are here on the field of Kinnick Stadium after Saturday's, I can't even describe it, game-winning field goal block by the Hawkeye special teams unit. And guys, what a finish to the game. Everyone we've talked to has said that they've never seen anything like this. We may never ever see anything like this ever again.
Oh, I agree. You know, in the second half there, especially like at the very end of the game, one thing that stood out is we have the Big Ten Network. We had the game on the TV, like up in the press box, and people are looking up at that, seeing what's going on, what the ref's going to rule after that first block kick by Broderick Binns. You hear what the rule is, and everyone's thinking, "Oh my God, is you and I going to pull this off here at the very end?" Then all of a sudden, you see the second kick, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
I mean, it's something that if we, it's unlikely we might ever see this again, at least for another decade or so in all of college football, if not, definitely not in Kinnick Stadium again like this. I mean, this is definitely, it is historic. It's not how, I don't think anyone expected it to be this close, but a win's a win. I mean, there's no pictures on the scorecard.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I want to say is that as awesome as this ending to the game was, it was a little nerve-wracking just because, first game of the season, I mean, everyone was thinking, okay, we're playing UNI. They have a good team, but we should, trounce them. And, UNI showed today that they can play, and I think, Iowa came out a little sluggish, and, we don't have that Sean Green this year that we can rely on to carry us, from the first minute to the 60th minute, and I just think we learned a lot about the team today.
But here's what they do have this year, and that's a guy in Tony Moyaki who came up huge. I mean, he had 10 catches today for 83 yards. He scored the game-winning touchdown, as it turned out, in the corner of the end zone there. You could tell Stanzi has like somewhat of a rapport with Moyaki that, he could just get him the ball. He can count on him to make big plays when they need him. And he really showed up. And as I said before when we discussed tight ends, if he could stay healthy, Iowa's going to be in good shape from an offensive perspective.
And we've talked to a number of the players who have said that they came into this game with respect for FCS teams, a team like UNI, formerly Division I AA. These are not top-tier teams, that's the perception out there. However, UNI, one of the best FCS teams in the country, they come in here to Kinnick Stadium, probably one of the toughest places to play in all of college football, and they gave the Hawks a heck of a game, 17-16 final score. How does this change your perception of, the FCS teams? Are there a lot of Appalachian States, Northern Iowas out there?
Well, I think from this perspective, I actually was talking to Darrell Johnson-Coulianos afterwards, and I asked him, is Appalachian State, is that going through your mind? And he said absolutely. And, you don't ever want to, if you're a team like Iowa, you don't want to ever be a victim to a game like that, like Michigan was 2 years ago. And I mean, they really saved themselves. UNI, as you said, they kind of dictated the tempo. The one thing that stood out to me was the opening possession. Iowa ended up settling for 3 points. UNI had an offsides penalty called on them. Iowa declined it and took the 3 points. Kind of wonder if they should have just taken the 7 right there, or at least had the 4th and 1. Trust Pacquiao to get a yard in that situation, and then continue getting in the red zone and maybe get a touchdown, or at the very least take time off the clock.
On the other hand, there you got to think about if they don't get that, Iowa loses 14-16. I mean, realistically, they lose 14-16. So,
I mean, just like the last thing that I want to add is from the defensive side of the ball, this game reminded me a lot of the Iowa State game last year. I mean, here we are, same stadium. A lot of people last year thought we were going to, trounce Iowa State. And, defensively, they gave up a lot of yards, gave up some big drives, but the most important things, they kept them out of the end zone. And that is the reason, I think, that Iowa won today.
What a heck of a ball game. We will have Kirk Ferentz's interview on Tuesday on Daily Iowan TV, and you'll have your update on the Daily Iowan newspaper. That is all for today's Football Forum. I'm Rob Miller alongside Tom Rogers, John Linder, and Brendan Stiles from Kinnick Stadium. We will see you here. We will see you in Ames. We will be in Ames next weekend. Boy, what another.
We'll be back in the studio too, though.
Yeah, we'll see you this week. Thanks.